And hello, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this this session about the reasons to invest in aeronautics or space in Andalusia. To start with the session, we are going to first give the floor to Javier Yraola, which is the Project Management Director at ICEX Invest in Spain, who is going to explain a little bit about the, doing business in Spain. So if we can pass to the video, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this interesting seminar. I'm going to give you some key points to show why Spain and its industrial and technological sectors are in the best moment to invest. Spain is the world's 13th largest industrial economy and the 4th economy in the European Union, with a GDP near 1.4 trillion US dollars. On the other hand, Spain is the 10th most open country to international investment worldwide, according to the OECD. Spain, on the other hand, is a highly internationalized economy, 11th largest exporter of commercial services worldwide, and 16th ranked exporter of merchandise trade. Regarding investments, I like to point out that Spain is one of the most attractive countries for international investment. And it is important to mention that Spain was the world's 4th preferred destination for greenfield projects in 2020. It means during the pandemic, according to the FDI Markets Financial Times. In terms of industry, Spain holds a relevant position among European Union countries as industrial manufacturer, a worldwide supplier of industrial products, services, and technologies. We have very competitive and industrial sectors, especially at the automotive industry, where we are the 2nd largest vehicle manufacturer in the European Union and 9th worldwide, at the chemical and pharma industry, in capital goods and industrial equipment, in the agro-food industry with more than 30,000 enterprises, and at the ICT industry with a strong ICT infrastructures and sector. And finally, at the aerospace industry. Spain has a highly advanced aerospace industry that has steadily grown in the last 20 years. It is ranked 5th in Europe in terms of turnover and employees, and the Spanish industry operates in all market segments, civil, military, and space. And Spain is one of the few countries able to cover the entire value chain of an aircraft, from design to manufacturing and maintenance. For all those reasons, Spain offers excellent opportunities for foreign companies. And regarding foreign direct investment in industry, industrial manufacturing and technological sectors are considered the most attractive for new projects of multinational companies in Spain. But why Spain? Because we also have very interesting industrial policies and public support. Considering the strategic contribution of the industry to the economy, the Ministry of Industry, in cooperation with the industrial sectors, is defining a new industrial policy in order to improve productivity and competitiveness, to promote new investment, and to raise the industrial share of Spanish GDP to 20%, by the way, objective aligned with the European Union target for the industry. Digitization and ecological transitions will be most relevant drivers of the reindustrialization. The new plan includes a national pact for the industry and a new industrial law that at that moment is in the parliament. And from the financial point of view, we have a vast structure of grants and financing programs for investment and reindustrialization. Regional incentives from the European Union, through the Ferrero, reindustrialization 4.0 programs, research and development of manufacturing sectors, all those from the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism. And I like to highlight the next generation EU initiatives that in Spain can be up to 140 billion euros in public investment. First, 70 billion euros will be invested in 10 main lines. Among them, and more directly involving industrial transformation and digitization, the following. First, sustainable mobility with 13 billion, a 5G roadmap with 5 billion, new industrial policy and circular economy with 3.7 billion, science and innovation with 3.3 billion, digitization of small and medium-sized enterprises with 4 billion, or deployment and integration of renewable energy with 3 billion. So all this information that I have tried to summarize in just few key points shows that Spain and its industrial and technological sectors are in the best moment to invest, create joint ventures and partnerships that will undoubtedly be profitable in the near future. In Invest in Spain, we will be more than happy of helping you to enter this market full of opportunities. So thank you very much, and I hope you have an interesting and fruitful, of course, seminar. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Javier, for your presentation. Now we are going to go next to the presentation of the advantages and opportunities of investing in Andalusia. Can we have the presentation, please? And first, let me start with a story, with a short story. These weeks, we have here an international investor who we are working with him to select a site for a manufacturing activity. It's a very important project for Andalusia. And the other day, out of the blue, we were talking about non-business. Out of the blue, he told me, look, Fernando, you need to do more promotion. And I said, what? Say, listen, I've been living in the US, in Africa, in Asia, and for this kind of projects that we have been conducting in our company and in others, we receive a lot of attention from many regions and countries that are very aggressive selling their destinations. And he explained, you are not. In Spain, people are too cautious. In fact, still many people, despite the good figures and the facts that Javier was presenting about the evolution of Spain in this matter, still many people think that Spain is a place for business, for tourism. It's only a place for tourists. They know beaches, they know Real Madrid and Barcelona. I was explaining especially in Asia. And he said, but I've been here for several weeks. I can tell you, you have really good infrastructures, you have right people, you have excellent food, which, by the way, according to his opinion, is extremely important for Asian culture. So he said, you need to change that perception. And that is exactly the idea of this presentation, trying to change perceptions about Spain and Andalusia for business. So, as a starting point, I would like to refer to for those of you who have been this morning in the sessions, the strong support we have from the regional government that has the direct investment attraction as one of their top priorities. And specifically in this sector, in the aerospace sector, that is absolute priority for the government. I think during the morning they have been mentioning, they have been working on simplification of procedures, specific incentives and help to the companies working in that sector, fast-track procedures for projects that are declared strategic for the region, etc., etc. Then, apart from the support from the government, and to start detailing a little bit the key reasons to come to Andalusia, to try to be a little bit more objective, because of course we are the administration, we are born in Andalusia, we live in Andalusia, so what are we going to say? We are going to base our facts on the opinion of foreign companies already established in Andalusia. We conduct every year a survey to collect the opinion of these companies about what are the main advantages and the weakness of Andalusia to attract investment. And these are the main reasons they value in Andalusia: infrastructure, the market size, the talent, and the quality of life. So let me go a little bit one by one. If we get to infrastructure, starting with physical infrastructure, of course, being second most visited country in the world, you can imagine the network of airports is extremely important in Spain and in Andalusia, of course. We have the third major airport in the Spanish Peninsula, which is Malaga, with around 20 million passengers every year. We also have Seville's airport, which has been the airport that has grown fastest of all Spain, with a big difference for the last 5 years. We also have Córdoba, Jerez, Granada, smaller airports that are very suited for activities like pilot training, UAVs, etc. Then, if we talk about road connectivity, Spain is number one worldwide in road connectivity. So it's not in Europe, it's number one worldwide. If we talk about the rail networks, again, Spain is third in the world after China and Japan. And in Andalusia, we have, among others, the 4 main capitals connected by high-speed train, and of course with Madrid, Barcelona, and the rest of Europe. Then we can also talk about the ports. We have 10 ports in Andalusia, and we can highlight the port of Algeciras, that is the main container port in the Mediterranean Sea. Then we also have trade zones, etc. If we go to technology infrastructure, that for some companies may be even more important than the physical infrastructure, we can see, again, Spain is the third in the world in the fiber optic network, in this case after Japan and South Korea. In fact, if we compare to the European Union, we have more fiber optic than Germany, France, Italy, and the UK combined. So it's a huge difference. We have also the highest penetration rate of the fiber to the home in the whole European Union, and we are also among the best countries prepared for 5G deployment. And to give you another example, during the pandemic of the COVID, one of the major streaming companies, Netflix, had to reduce the quality of their streaming in all countries of Europe because the network were at risk of collapsing. In all countries of Europe except one, that was Spain. In Spain, it was the only country that didn't have to touch the quality of the streaming because the networks were capable of delivering the spike of traffic during that time. Then we move to market size. For the scale of the European Union, Spain is a big country. It's the second biggest country in the European Union. And Andalusia is the second largest region of Spain and the most populated. And in size, we are bigger than countries like Austria or Swiss. So for the scale of the European Union, we are a big market. That is combined with the geostrategic location that we have. We are the south of Europe, from where you can access, of course, all the market of the European Union, but also Africa, because we are just 14 kilometers away, while maintaining the legal security of the European Union, and also is a very strategic point to connect and export to the United States and South America. This location helps, of course, what I was mentioning of the export focus. Andalusia is a very exporting region. It's the second exporting region in general in Spain. The first one in 2019 in aeronautics, almost with half of the export of Spain. And you can see our main destinations are the main countries of the European Union and the United States. Then we move to the third pillar mentioned by foreign companies, that are the talent. So the talent is a key word for us in Andalusia, because Not only because we think, we are mentioning, it's mentioned by the foreign companies. We have very good training for people in Andalusia. We have 10 public universities, there are 16 engineering degrees. There is a large pool of a skilled workforce, in summary, in Andalusia that is prepared to work specifically in this sector and in general. And that, combined with the quality of life, that is actually one of the things that is really well known of Andalusia, makes it that we have, as you can see, the presentation, a very low job rotation index in Andalusia, because people want to come to Andalusia and want to live here. So the companies that are coming to Andalusia, because they find people here that it's difficult to find in other places, then they mention that they are really happy because these people is quite happy in their companies and don't move to other companies or to other regions because they get a little bit better salary, but because they are happy living here because of the quality of life. The stability of the personnel in the companies is also quite a big asset for them. So this is another good reason for companies to come to Andalusia. Here you can see the key sectors that we have in Andalusia. We have a good combination of well-established sectors and also emerging sectors, which we can mention, for example, chemistry, the second industry in Spain, or mining. We have the largest non-ferrous mineral reserves of Europe. Of course, the logistics, as I was mentioning, due to the geostrategic location of Andalusia, is a very strong sector in Andalusia. And of course, the sector which we are here today, which is the aerospace sector, which I will go a little bit into details now. In the aerospace sector, the first thing I would like to mention is something that the president of the cluster explained this morning. It's one of the few locations in Europe where we have the complete experience in aircraft manufacturing, from the design to the manufacturing to the maintenance. We have the final assembly line for the A400 transport airport, and it's not only that there are only three regions in Europe, 3 hubs in Europe with this kind of facility, but this is all the ecosystem built around it makes it a world reference. Then we also have specific infrastructure in the sector of aerospace, for example, and I'm sure my mates in the panel discussion can explain a lot better than me that we have, for example, a specific technology center for aerospace technologies that is also a reference in specific technologies in Europe and in some cases worldwide. We have a unique test flight centers, unique in Europe. We have projects to have another flight center with the Ministry of Defense in Spain. We also have a talent in the aerospace ecosystem. We have, for example, 2 universities in Andalusia that offer the degree of aerospace engineering. We have the oldest master in Airpass in Andalusia, in Huelva. We have also a specific research group, for example, that is a worldwide reference in UAVs, for example, which is a group of Aníbal Ollero, which is a professor in the University of Sevilla, and he's the most cited author in the world for the UAVs. So this means a lot in this sector. Also, this morning we have been discussing in the previous sessions about the aerospace strategy of Andalusia, which has been recently approved. This makes us the first region in Spain to have a specific strategy with the support of the public and private sector for that. You can see that the strategy has its main strategic lines, which is our investment in technology, certification in the sector, improving the training of the people. So the strategy cites some of the opportunities that you can find in the aerospace. I don't want to mention them all, but for example, I could mention in the maintenance and repair of aircrafts, we can mention we have, for example, the project of Ryanair in Seville, which is the second biggest base for MRO in Europe for Ryanair, and which was also mentioned this morning that the chief of engineering of Ryanair, in the presentation of the project, was telling that they didn't come to Seville because of the sun or because of the quality of life, but because of the quality of the engineers. Okay? Or also in the pilot training or UAVs, where we have many projects and we are attracting companies because we have, of course, really good weather conditions for this kind of projects, for pilot training, for spatial tourism. That is something very, there is a trend now, and for which Andalusia and especially the area around Seville has perfect conditions for taking that kind of activities. And in general, all activities related to the new space. Here you can see also some success cases of companies coming to Andalusia, but I would like to mention only some of the latest arrivals in the latest 6 months. For example, the multinational DECRA, German multinational leader worldwide in security, is setting up a new global IT hub in Malaga, for example, or the Google, who recently announced a cybersecurity center with an investment of more than 500 million euros, or Solera, the name of an American company that has come to Seville and already has more than 300 people in just a few months. So I could go on with Finland, Lumon, that set up in Malaga very recently too, or Deloitte in Sevilla with more than 1,000 people. And just to finish, I would like to remind you that Invest in Andalusia, which is the initiative of the regional government to help you attract a direct investment to Andalusia, helps you during all the stages of your project. So we are going to help you with anything you need to make a reality the establishment of your project in Andalusia. During the setup phase, in the planning, the investment, we can help you with the strategy, finding the right location. Then during the implementation phase, with the regulation of the sector, costs, technology partners, etc. And once you are installed, we continue with the aftercare and follow-up of the project and helping you increase the business in Andalusia. Here you have our contact details. We will be happy to answer any question. And just to finish, I hope this changed, even if in a little bit, the perception. And of course, as we were saying, don't believe us because we are the administration, but we invite you to come and see for yourself. So thank you very much. And now I think I continue myself with the panel discussion. So I'm going to introduce you to our keynote speakers now. First, we have my left, David Núñez. He is the electrical, electromechanical, and electronic parts division director at Alter Technology Tube North. David is responsible for all the activities related to the electrical, electromechanical, and electronic components and design for space applications, with a special focus on achieving targets and defining the division strategy to align with the market demands, supporting the new space approach, including the supply chain digitization and the specific new space requirements. So, thank you. Good afternoon, David.
Thank you very much, Fernando. A pleasure being here.
Then we have Vicente Díaz. He is the managing director and co-founder of DHB, or DHV Tecnología Espacial Avanzada, DHB Technology, from Malaga since November 2013. He's focused in international private sector since 1990, with huge experience on avionics system, military projects, space commercial projects, R&D programs at European level, and renewable energy, solar PV, as well as other practices like semiconductor manufacturing, microelectronics, and SMD electronics manufacturing. So, good afternoon, Vicente.
Thank you very much I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. Then we have in remote. We have Jaume Sanpera, who is the founder and CEO of Sateliot. Jaume Sanpera is the founder and CEO of Sateliot, the first satellite telecommunication operator that will provide global and continuous connectivity to all the elements that will make up the universe of Internet of Things, IoT, under the 5G protocol. Previously, he has also founded and managed Aeronautics, a company that grew from 2 million euros to 150 million euros in just 6 years. And last but not least, of course, is Fernando Lasagni. He's the CTO of Materials and Processes in CATEC, the Advanced Center for Aerospace Technologies. He joined CATEC after previous experience in several countries. He has a large expertise in advanced manufacturing and inspection technologies for the aerospace industry. He has several international awards, also coordinates the additive manufacturing group of the Spanish aerospace platform, and has also been the Spanish representative on the additive manufacturing harmonization ESA meetings in 2014 and 2017. Good afternoon, David. Fernando, sorry.
Thanks, Fernando, for the kind introduction and invitation also.
Okay, so then to start with the panel discussion, if you like, we can start with the intervention of Jaume Sanpera from Sateliot, who could not be available today physically, so he sends us a video. So if we can see the video, please.
Good morning, I'm Jaume Sanpera, CEO of Sateliot. Last year, there was more IoT devices connected to the networks than mobile phones. And by 2025, we will be 5 times more IoT devices than mobile phones in the world. We are building the unique satellite constellation that connects the 5G IoT devices of the world from space. This means that any 5G IoT device that today is connected to the mobile networks, when they reach out-of-coverage regions, they will connect seamlessly to our mobile constellation, to our satellite constellation. This is the start of IoT satellite revolution. Traditionally, the satellite industry has been 2 different approaches. First one is the walled garden, which proprietary devices, fully compatible with the rest of the world and with no economies of scale. The second is the gateway, which is difficult to maintain, has limited coverage, and is very expensive. Our approach is completely different. It's what we call the IoT cell tower from space. Our satellites are fully compatible with the IoT devices that are using today the mobile operators. For the final customer, this means 0 equipment cost. For the mobile operator, means full coverage with 0 investment costs. And for Sateliot, a super scalable business model. All this is thanks to our unique set of core technologies. We are building our own 5G core that allows this seamless mobile to satellite roaming, our own payload that minimizes the required number of satellites, our own 5G IoT standard implementation of our satellite that makes our satellites fully compatible with already 2 billion cellular 5G IoT devices worldwide. We are a group of serial entrepreneurs that have been working together for the last 10 years. We are experts in telecom, 5G and satellite, but also in exits and high growth. Our last company, we did an IPO, we take it from 2 million euros to 150 million euros in just 6 years. But the most important is to have a super scalable business model. That's why we believe that the mobile operators are the best position to know the local markets. We offer them an extension of coverage for each IoT customers. Our business model, which is a 50% revenue share with them, makes Sateliot business super scalable. All this has pushed Sateliot to a unique market positioning. The rest of our competitors are below the line with a classical satellite approach with a proprietary device. We are the only with no extra hardware. There's just one company in the world with a similar approach with AST that it was incorporated 3 years ago, and today is a Nasdaq public company. We wanted to test our position in the market, and we found a huge commercial engagement in both worlds, in the final users with a lot of pilots and with the mobile operators. Today, we are talking with mobile operators that represents more than 4 billion subscribers worldwide. We incorporated the companies just 2.5 years ago. with this short period of time, we already have our first satellite find, we have our exclusive frequency allocation, and the fastest tech achievements in the industry. In the commercial side, we have more than €500,000 committed sales, wholesale agreements in 28 countries, and a lot of pilots in the pipeline. We really believe that Sateliot and 5G is a disruptive combination. We are closing our Series A, €7 million, with €4 million already committed. And the reason why we believe that is a disruptive combination is because there are already 2 billion 5G IoT devices in the world. That will be more than 5 billion by 2025. Because 90% of the world has no mobile coverage, and this is not going to be better in the next future. We are the only 5G IoT LEO constellation with zero hardware modification for the final user. Our first-class consolidated team and our super scalable business model positions Sateliot to lead the 5G IoT satellite revolution. And we believe Andalusia may be the place to do it because first, world-class universities and labor force, because they already has an ecosystem, their spatial hub, that could be the seed for the new space hub, and because of the strong regional government focus in new space. And last but not least, because of quality of life. We believe that Sateliot could be the seed for Andalusia new space hub. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Jaume. It was a very interesting presentation of one of the latest arrivals to Andalusia in this new space segment where we're going to focus the panel discussion today. But let's first start a little bit more thinking worldwide. In your opinion, which are the needs and opportunities that offers this new space segment? How do you think we can improve the competitiveness of the companies in that segment? You want to start, David, for example?
Sure. Thank you. Well, I think that the new space is definitely opening a new area of opportunities, because one of the elements which is defining this new space is that the entry barriers are much lower than we have in the standard space business. We don't need to have such a strong infrastructure in the company. It's much more focused on knowledge. It's much more focused on the skills of the people. So we can find very active companies everywhere, and it's much easier to develop a new company in these regions because of that, in this area. So, which is very important, also is the concept itself. We are not aiming, the new space is not aiming to have a single company doing everything within a satellite. It's just looking for a network of companies, pretty much specialized, relatively small size, but definitely top leaders in the field of expertise, which is something which reflected into the Andalusia market is very interesting, because we do have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of companies capable to do in that area, which today are working in all these different steps. So combining these efforts and resources, it's much easier to develop this concept rather than having to support very huge efforts in terms of finance and funding from the local and the governments in the development of these companies. So with much smaller investments, we can develop a much stronger network of capabilities, and that defines that the level of opportunities is extremely powerful if we are able to find a place like Andalusia is, where we can combine the expertise of the research centers, the expertise of the universities, the well-established companies in the region that we already have, which in fact we have companies which can cope with all the different stages into the development of satellite, from the very basic initial designs to the microelectronics to the assembly and operations, even defining the ground station. So in that sense, for me, the opportunities are tremendous, because the level of finance, the funding is much lower than it was in the past, but at the same time, we are developing a much stronger supply chain into this satellite than we were doing in the past.
Vicente, what about?
Yeah, well, let's say, I would like to point out three main topics. Number one, this is the human force here in Andalusia. So we have public universities sending to the market good engineers, good scientists, whatever, good managers, that unfortunately they are not able to find in some extent, there are good opportunities in Andalusia, so they have to go away. So I think that if I will be a foreigner trying to come here, and I will be told that there is a good level of engineers, very good universities, with a lot of human force willing to work in international company, but at the same time keeping their home base in Andalusia. I think that this is a must, and in fact it's something that we are doing. Not only, let's say, trying to keep people here, but also trying to recover talent. Okay, so this is something that we are doing with some Spanish and also people from Andalusia that are working out of Spain. So we are trying to bring them, trying to make, let's say, a good advertisement of the second point, which is the weather. The weather is very nice, and I think that this is something very good. This is a must. And there are some people that want to be sure that they are, let's say, working in a very good environment and doing good things. So I think that the combination of these two topics is very important. And a very important pillar, third pillar, is the connections. Okay, so we have a very good international airport. I think that you pointed out in your presentation. I can tell that in our case we are in Malaga, so Malaga has an incredible airport before Corona. I think that hopefully will be again recover the previous operations. So I will say that for a, let's say, company operating in foreign markets, like in our case, with more than 97% of our sales out of Spain, I think it's very important to be sure that you can reach your customers very soon. Okay, so this is the particular case of Andalusia, talking of the 2-3 main airports, in particular from Malaga, you can be typically in only 2 flights wherever you want in the world. Okay, you can go out to the main hub from Malaga to Madrid, Paris, Schiphol in the Netherlands, London, Heathrow, whatever. You can jump to every part in the world, especially if United States, which is so far our main market at this point, so you can be both in the East Coast. I think this is very, very, very important. And the proof of that is that when we go there and we talk to our customers where Malaga is, they know exactly what is Andalusia, where is more or less the main cities and the main culture behind, and they are willing to come. And this is why we tried for a couple of times up to now. Hopefully next year will be again the Spanish Small Satellites International Forum, which is an event of full international, around 200 persons. And then we took the advantage of Andalusia as a good destination, very well known. So I think it's very important to keep pushing, taking advantage of the tourism. This is not a bad thing. It's very good because you can try to collect business and bring the people here for making fun as well. And I think this combination is very good. And at the same time, it's a very good opportunity for a foreign company to come here because they can, as well, they can understand that there are a very good network and ecosystem of institutions, infrastructure, willing to help the business and to make to work in the diversification of the economic sectors. I think that all of these topics are very important. And I would like to add a last one, which is a reasonable cost, quality and cost-effective ratio in order to grow up a company. Okay, in our case, we did it that way, trying to put all the money in the trips and all the money in the business development and keeping in a very, let's say, safe side. So personally, I had the opportunity to test with other parts in Spain how the life was there, what it was, the needed money from the basic infrastructure. And it's something that right now we are doing as well for other, let's say, places in Europe that we are looking for. But I think that Andalusia has a very unique combination of also to offer a very, very reasonable cost just for starters. So you don't need to take a big amount of money for starting. You don't need to look into BC with incredible figures. You just can start and also pay a very reasonable thing for all that you need for starting the business. I think that all this combination, I definitely will say to potential investors in our region that they have to look twice because is something real, it's something just to compare, and for sure the combination of all these topics, I think it's make a unique opportunity.
You were mentioning the cost, and maybe I didn't mention the cost in the presentation, because we don't normally like to talk about that, because specifically in this sector, as David also was mentioning, it's more important the knowledge that,
yes,
that
for
the
sure.
cost is a little bit lower, or even, for example, the incentives that I didn't mention again, because it's the last thing we think the companies should think about when think about where to establish. You know? Even that, for example, in Andalusia, we can have the maximum incentives allowed by the European Union. So in no other region of the EU, they can have more incentives than here. That is something that we normally don't say because, or it's the last point, because it's not like something that you should come here because of only that. But that is true. And Fernando, what do you say?
Let's see what can I add to what my colleagues have said. First, new space is a very general terminology, but basically it's the opportunity of private companies to go into space, which is a difference to all space. And the opportunities, that means the opportunities are for everybody. For instance, for existing companies, for instance, that have a role in aeronautics industry. There is a very similar language in space and aeronautics, and this company has the opportunity of diversifying their activity. And secondly, we have startups, and we are seeing many startups appearing and on the stage today. We have one example with a lot of IFO. Now they have a consolidated companies. And for that, you have many needs. The first one is industrial ecosystem. That's something we have in Andalusia, a lot of aerospace companies. You cannot manufacture, for instance, if your product will be hardware, you cannot manufacture everything, but you need to talk with someone who talks the same language, and you need to put some part of the production there and there and there, and to finally have a competitive product. That means also companies which can provide good quality services and in price as well. And also, of course, the funding. Basically, more relevant for startups. The first stages are very difficult. You need to qualify a product. That takes so much time. So at the beginning, you need private, but also public funding in order to make your product reliable for space. And finally, also universities and technology centers which can help you in producing such novel products. You have to look into you are playing a competitive market, so your product must be new, good quality, and also you have to think in the next 10 years, not only now. And for that, you need the support of research technology centers, which go ahead in developing advanced manufacturing technologies, inspection technologies, look into protocols on somehow how to decrease qualifying costs, and so on. And this is something that we have in Andalusia.
Okay. So we have, let's say, all these concepts, all these advantages we have in Andalusia, but I would like to do a little bit and the same as Sateliot. Well, I don't know if it's, the sound is well with the mask, but what is the expertise that we have, the specific companies in Andalusia, for example, your companies and in general? What expertise do we have, David?
I think that what we have in Andalusia is a reality in space. I mean, we have a lot of expertise. Alter Technology was established in Andalusia, in Seville, in the year 1993. We were the first company established in the Parque Tecnológico of Cartuja, right after the Expo. And we are mostly working in the microelectronics, but we can not only refer to what alta technology does, we can also refer to a lot of projects within the university, which is extensively working, the European Space Agency. We have research centers like the Institute for Electronics of Seville, like CATEC, and others, which are also intensively and extensively working in many space programs and recognized like a world-class centers, in fact. So from Seville, in alta technology, we are exporting to the world. We are working with companies in the US, we've been working with Boeing Aerospace, we've been working with companies in Japan, in South Korea, Russia, China, India, Israel, South America, Argentina, Brazil, of course, all around Europe. So we have an ecosystem of companies which in fact are already doing a lot of activities, and it's very well recognized outside of Andalusia. And it's very important to really stress the fact that companies like DHV and CATEC are also known everywhere in the world, and they are hopefully also alta technology. We have better press outside of Andalusia than we have inside of our own region, but what we have is the seeds of really booming into the space sector, because we do have, as I said, the knowledge for doing everything which is required in order to put a satellite in orbit, not only on a small satellite, but also on a medium-sized satellite, which is very important. And whoever investor is really to come to Andalusia to establish their work, they will find an existing network of companies that can easily complement whatever they need in all the fields of the activity.
Yes, I want to say in a very clear way, I think that we have in Andalusia all the elements needed for launching one satellite. So I think that I have said with that everything. So we have material science teams like CATEC, testing capabilities like Alter. We have expert in telecommunications, electronics, ground segments, mission analysis. You have the aerospace schools here in Seville. You have a very good, as far as I know, so I don't want to leave anyone behind, but I think that in Granada, Malaga, Seville, and Jaén, under my knowledge, there are very, very good research teams that with enough skill for supporting that. I will say more. I think that I will say that we could be willing to work together in the setup and launch of one satellite, maybe in no more than 15 months. So we have also good research institutions working with making science, like in Granada, the Instituto de Astrofísica de Andalucía. They are doing as well very good payloads, which is very important. So I think that we have everything for that. So I think that any company that will come, in our case, we are a power subsystem company, so we are working on electronics and photovoltaics, and also taking, always looking into new materials, processes, and also very interested on all the efforts in the aeronautics. As Fernando mentioned before, this is a high, very, very good skill of companies working for the aeronautics sector that can be, I'm fully sure that most of them can also make a very good role in space, especially in the structures, carbon fiber, transformation point of view. So I think that we are really lucky, and we just need more companies working together here.
Reference, Fernando, can you tell us some of these advanced development and innovation in your research center, and specifically the test flight center?
Yeah, in CATEC we have been working for space projects since 10 years, more or less. And to mention one key activity, we're working with ESA, is additive manufacturing, metal 3D printing, basically. We started many years ago with Airbus in order to produce first flight system. In this case was a clamp band for Vega launcher, fully in titanium. It was qualified for flying. It was the first structure, fully structured, qualified in Spain for flying, additive manufacturing. And with this experience, we started to fly products, and basically collaborating with and supporting several companies, which is our main activity. And we were capable, for instance, to develop supports for the solar panels of the quantum satellites, with this critical structure, one of the first in Europe to qualify for flying. Some components also for the Kiop Spanish satellite, together with CITD. and with CENER, with Aerospace, helix antenna for PROA 3 mission. And recently, and this very important project, we were able to develop part of the secondary structure of the JUICE spacecraft. The JUICE spacecraft is a ESA space mission which is going to study Jupiter moons. We have developed 11 supports and reaction wheel brackets for that mission. And the focus was to reduce the weight of the mission. We could do it in 15 kilograms together with the collaboration of CITD and Airbus and of course ESA. And related to Atlas, to the Flight Test Center, in case of space, we have been working in the qualification and developing testing campaign for high altitude pseudo satellites. Those offer really very huge opportunities. So they can fly in between, which is a drone and a manned aircraft and a satellite. And they are very interesting systems for Earth observation, for foreign watching, for providing communications ad hoc, and so on. And as you said before, we had very good weather conditions in Andalusia. And this is a very unique facility in Europe which can be used for such services.
Okay, using this I think was better. So we have, as you were saying in the summary, we have the infrastructures, as you were mentioning, the ecosystem, the companies, the weather, the talent. So it seems that we have all the ingredients to have the new space sector successful in Andalusia. And so now I would like to ask you, what advantages do the development of this sector can bring to Andalusia in general, apart from the sector itself?
I think that the advantages that this sector can bring to Andalusia are similar to the ones that Andalusia can bring to this sector. I think what is very important to understand is that new space is going to be based on knowledge and skills and capabilities. So what we are going to get is, as in fact Vicente was mentioning, that we have an excellent network of universities which are just creating a very good level engineers, which mostly has to leave Andalusia and to go outside to work, and then they will find a way to develop their activity. So we are creating a network or a base of very high skill employment, which is very important and very stable in the sense that the space in general, and even this new space, is an infrastructure, or it's an industry which is not so much sensitive to delocalization, because the labor cost is not the major driver of this industry. It's the knowledge, it's the capability to find the ecosystem, to find the way of having all these companies, all these people, the talented people, to stay in the region and to attract to new talent, which is coming not only from the ones who left Andalusia years ago to develop their career outside, but also international students, international companies, and international talent coming to be established here, because we have the possibility to develop a very significant and interesting activity. The return radio is evident. I mean, it's clear. This morning was mentioned in some presentations that there is, for each euro that the public institutions have put in the space industry, 3 euros are returning. So it's just very significant, and it's very important to have that. And also it's reshaping the industry of the region. So we're having a lot of employment, high skilled employment, very much dependent on the knowledge, on the experience, on having capability, not easy to be delocalized, and very much linked to the development of new employment also with higher skills. So it's kind of multiplying factor. As soon as we are starting this, we are attracting more, and we are generating a really positive feedback on this process.
Yes, I think that the space business offers really a lot of opportunities at this point. So I think that worldwide, this sector is living in an incredible moment for whatever the reason. So there is a lot of ideas in the market. The ideas are getting funds, and then some of them So you show some of them in your slide, companies that grow up very quickly with a reasonable amount of money, and then they could they can to change things. So I think that the space sector, in my opinion, brings a lot of opportunity for brilliant people to start to work on that. Let's say, if you are, for instance, I think that we should push more in Andalusia to the entrepreneurs. So people in the university with very brilliant idea that they say, okay, I'm not going to find the way of doing that. They say, no, you have to try. You have to try, because the space business is, you have I like very much the name of this, let's say, Mars spacecraft from NASA with the Perseverance. I think this is absolute. You have to be very strong in the perseverance in this field. So if you think that you can do anything in the space business, most probably you can do. So I think just to find a way and to keep trying. I think that this is the message that I think that we have to do. We have to send to the people here, because why not? You can do that. So I'm sorry for giving almost a personal example, but right now there is a lot of people talking about the moon and Mars. Okay, so maybe you go out away and talk to the people in the sea and say, oh, you want to be part of a mission to the moon? They will say, ah, you are crazy. No, this is happening. So we have right now 3 projects for the moon and 1 project for Mars. So if you asked me 7 years ago, I say, well, I would like. Now it's a reality. Why other people cannot do the same? It's just a matter of perseverance. And again, we come to the human force in Andalusia. I think this is a good point to send to the universities. Okay, you have to try. You have a good idea. There is a good ecosystem, again, talking about the infrastructure and the ecosystem in Andalusia. There are people that can help you to manage your ideas, to make it through. And I think this is the best thing, I will say, that the space can offer to this region. Opportunities and real opportunities. They are not easy, for sure. Nothing is easy, but it's possible.
Well, I will be very concise. For Andalusia, it is a great opportunity for high skilled jobs. And for companies, basically, they have all ingredients for cooking their business and space project.
So I think we are more or less on time, so maybe if we want to finish, I would like you a headline of thinking about companies from abroad that are maybe thinking about coming to invest in Europe. What would you highlight in 30 seconds? We have been talking about this. What would you highlight for them? Why should they come?
I will somehow repeat something that I said. The space sector in Andalusia is a reality. This is it exists. We have the talent, we have the people, we have the universities, the research centers to do whatever we can and whatever we want. So any company which is coming here to complement and to push what we already have is going to have to find a really nice place to grow, and they will be able to grow very fast.
Yes, I would say that to these companies willing to come here, it came to probably one of the best places in the world for doing that, with a lot of, let's say, brilliant people willing to help, good infrastructure, and very, very good connections worldwide. So that you will have no more than benefits if you come here.
I will say that they will not alone in the journey. They will have public organizations and private research institutions, public research institutions, which would help in the very own projects, and also, as I said before, an ecosystem of private companies who talk the same language.
Okay, perfect. Then it's. I think we will finish with this. That I think that the sector is a reality in Andalusia. That we have the best location for this segment, and as you can see, we have 3 perfect examples of the great ecosystem we have here in Andalusia. So please come and see for yourself. We are eager to reach you. Thank you very much, and I think we will finish with the video of Invest in Andalusia. So please, if we can have the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For a sure win, invest in Andalusia, a land of opportunities, boasting major strengths and enjoying continuous development. Andalusia holds a strategic geographical location. From the south of Spain, a historical trading bridge is in place between Europe and Africa. And it is furthermore an effective gateway linking America and Asia. The diversified transport network in Andalusia provides this connection outwards by land, sea and air, served by 5 international airports. With 10 trading ports, among these the main container port in the Mediterranean and the only river port in Spain, with a modern high-speed railway line and more than 10,000 kilometers of highways and motorways. Andalusia is a unique destination, as large as diverse. It is the most populated region of Spain, the heir to a valuable intercultural legacy that still endures over time, and which lives alongside a sense of great interest for discovering the most innovative trends. Its climate fosters the commitment to sustainability and favors a quality of life renowned throughout the world. Andalusia is a land of innovation, with ideal environment for research, development and knowledge transfer, which enables its specialized technology park, its scientific and university centers. Andalusia boasts a wide industrial offer, well established and emerging, allowing the development of a diversified economy, and furthermore, offering significant advantages and opportunities to foreign and multinational companies attracted by the region. The aerospace sector is one of its strategic sectors, with a century of experience in the manufacture and assembly of aircrafts, a know-how recognized by its high level of participation in international R&D projects. Airbus is one of the major international groups in the aerospace sector. It enjoys a strong presence in the region, where it develops the final assembly line of the A400M and programs related to A320 and A350 aircrafts, among others. The Andalusian territory offers a well-established network of aerospace auxiliary industry, positioned as main suppliers of Spanish Tier 1 companies. Andalusia is one of the most advanced and dynamic bioclusters in Spain. It leads the creation of biotech companies in the country. The Andalusian region has been one of the first regions in the world to authorize research with embryonic stem cells, and is at the forefront in Spain in the introduction of advanced therapies for patients. Food and nutrition is one of the most traditional industrial sectors in Andalusia. The region tops the ranking in the exports of fruits and vegetables in Spain, and is a leader in organic production. The Andalusian region ranks 3rd in the national ranking of the ICT sector, and is at the cutting edge of the new developments in information technology, such as cloud computing or Internet of Things. Mining is a driving force for the Andalusian economy, as it has the largest European reserve of non-ferrous metals. Worthy of special mention are aggregates, ornamental rock, industrial mining, energy mining and metal mining. The Andalusian chemical sector is the 2nd largest and most competitive in Spain. Its impact, both on the economy and on society, is of great importance. It leads the generation of electrical energy and production of primary transformation of non-ferrous metals in Spain. The advanced metal industry is traditionally auxiliary of other sectors, such as renewable energies or aeronautics, as well as the automotive industry. The Andalusian logistics network covers an area of 1,800 hectares and includes 11 centres interconnected by land and sea with the exterior, which guarantees to the company significant potential for this type of activities. This, added to its infrastructure and communications by land, sea and air, make it a very attractive region to invest. Tourism is a major player in Andalusia, accounting for 13% of the regional GDP. Climate, culture, rich landscapes, accessibility and the variety of the offer are the main attractions of Andalusian tourism. The sun, wind, water and geothermal energy are abundant natural resources in Andalusia, allowing the generation of clean and safe energy as an alternative to fossil fuels. This has made it possible for the region to be a pioneer in the use of wind and solar thermal energy. It is the first Spanish region that generates biomass electricity. Andalusia, furthermore, is driving the shift from a traditional construction model towards a more sustainable and environmentally friendly one, with more productive and competitive structures. Invest in Andalusia, Spain is an initiative supported by the Andalusian regional government through the agency IDEA in order to foster, attract and consolidate foreign investment in the region. This program allows collaboration between foreign investors and Andalusian companies to grow and expand their business in the region. Highly qualified professionals comprise the Investment Promotion Department unit, whose mandate is to advise companies and offer them tailor-made support services in the implementation process of their investment in Andalusia. Invest in Andalusia aids foreign companies to establish and expand their business in the region, making available to them a wide-ranging portfolio of customized services through all stages of the investment project. During the planning phase, Invest in Andalusia provides information on the regulation and situation of the chosen sector and assessment of the best location for each project. Alongside this, visits to partners and potential investors, universities, experts and entrepreneurial networks complete the service. Presentation of investment and business opportunities, grants and financing sources available are other aspects of the service offered as part of this program. During the implementation phase, Invest in Andalusia provides the necessary information on human resources available and carries out the monitoring of permits and administrative procedures required to start activities. And in the final development phase, Invest in Andalusia continues to offer assistance for entrepreneurial expansion. Because Andalusia is a land of opportunities, a land of innovation. For a sure win, invest in Andalusia.